students, welcome to another session of forensic photography. So we were discussing about photography and its importance. So what we have learned, I will just refresh. Photography serves as a proof of its importance as a powerful weapon in the crime, and it is done in almost every forensic cases. And now forensic photography has become a reality that even the simple image taken with a simple camera will make an incredible difference in the court decisions. And photography is considered as the heart of crime investigation and reconstruction. Now, it is said that even signed confessions do not necessarily prove guilt in court, but the photographs of physical evidence can show what happened so clearly and convincingly that juries convict and the judges sentence. So, as mentioned above, the photography is an evidence itself. So now let's see what are the significance of forensic photography, and hence it is required that the photography should be done at the crime scene, that is to record the crime scene and the evidences, and you have to do at the crime scene, around the crime scene, and during the packaging, labeling and transporting of the evidence, at the arrival of the evidence in the forensic lab, during the analysis of the evidence, as well as before the court submission and all. So the chain of custody can should be maintained in the photography also. So what are the significance of photography? Let's see. So first point is that it is one of the best method of recording and preservation of the scene of crime. So it is said that approaching the crime scene and searching for the shreds of evidence, it is a very tedious task. It is very difficult. So an investigator may displace like any evidence by mistake or by other means for tampering or anything like that, and this will be of great concern in the investigation. So while searching the crime scene, evidences should be keep at the place where exactly it was, and nothing should be removed or added, or nothing should be changed in that case. So therefore it is always suggested to photograph the crime scene first, even without touching or searching of the evidence. So as I told earlier in the previous sessions, that when the first responding officer comes to the investigating that crime scene, first thing he has to do is that he has to secure the crime scene and photograph each and everything without tampering anything, and which without touching anything. They have to photograph all the evidences, so this will keep a good record of the crime scene and encountered, and its condition will be well preserved. So afterwards, when we take the photograph of this crime scene, then we will able to make out where the exact place of the evidence was. And also at any point in time, court may ask to prove or disprove the fact that can be clearly established with the help of this adequately documented photograph. So when the court asks, you can easily give this photograph and you can say that this evidence was in this particular place. And the next significance is that the method of representation of the crime scene and the evidence in the court of law. So in this, it said that you cannot take the crime scene or the dead body to the courtroom, right? So only the thing you can carry to the courtroom while during the trial is the photographs of these things, and it is the only photographs that serves as the visual representation of the crime scene and certain pieces of evidence in the courtroom. So actually the photographs serve as the reconstruction of the crime scene, and hence properly photographed crime scenes are the evidences and are the crucial things for the success of investigation. So we cannot take the evidence as evidence or the exact dead body or the crime scene to the courtroom for that trial. So you can take the photograph or and videograph of this particular scene of crime to prove or disprove your things. And the third one is that a busy investigating officer may overlook certain evidences that can be ascertained later on careful examination of the photograph. So many times it happens that a busy investigating officer or the forensic expert, due to the complexity of the crime scene or media intervention or because of any other reason, he may he may forget to overlook to certain sport or certain evidences, or maybe he will not concentrate on such things. So, however, in the later stage, with the help of the photographs, he may encounter some new clues in the direction of the investigation. So, this is the third point. So, first one is it is one of the best method of the recording and preservation of the scene of crime. And second point is that the method of representation of the crime scene and the evidence in the court of law. And the third point is a busy investigating officer may overlook certain evidences that can be ascertained later on careful examination of the photographs. And next we'll move on to the fourth one. So fourth point is that unbiased conclusion. So in this we cannot always rely on the statements of the witness, suspects, or the victim. So we already know that it is not reliable, like eyewitness testimony is not that much reliable, so that we need a better evidence. So we learned that in our fundamentals of forensic science. So here also we cannot rely on the statements of witness, suspects, or the victim. So to check the accuracy or otherwise of these statements, photographs are the best evidence. And this can easily be checked by the computer forensic expert if needed by the court or demand along with the source of memory stick. And several cases have solely being solved based on the photographs and video footages. So here this is unbiased conclusion. So photographs are unbiased conclusions. And the next point is recording of the invisible evidence or missed evidences. So here with the use of the ultraviolet and infrared photography, an investigating or forensic photographer may uncover certain invisible evidences such as washed off blood stains and other biological fluids, secret writings, and latent fingerprints. So in the upcoming sessions, we will discuss what is ultraviolet and infrared photography. So here you can see the picture of an luminol blood stain. So this is the luminol blood stains. So this is taken during this picture is during UV photography. So luminol we can use for washed off blood stain. So after committing the crime, the chance of the culprit washing off his clothes and other like uh, footwears and all. So in the washed off clothes, from the washed off clothes and all, we can take these stains, or we can recover the stains using the luminol spraying. So after spraying the luminol, we can take the photograph of this using UV light, UV photographs. So this is the picture of a luminol blood stain taken by UV photography. And this is the second point. So recording of the invisible evidence or missed evidences. And next third point is it tells about the position and location of the crime scene and the evidence on the crime scene. So here if you have the proper range of photographs, like as I said in the previous session, we have an overview photograph, mid-range photograph, and close-up photograph. So the interrelationship between the evidence can be easily established along with their correct position, like where it was lying, and the bed was in which position, or dead body was in which position, that we can easily make out by this overview, mid-range, and close-up photograph. So we can establish the relationship with the crime scene. And however, this requires a series of pictures to be taken at different angles and ranges. So we can take the photographs of the crime scene at different angles and ranges, and thus we can tell about the position and location of the crime scene. Where was the chair, where was the dead body, where was the bed was lying, like that. These kind of things we can easily make out by this photography. And next point is reference photography is useful for the dimension of the evidences. So reference photography is that when you put a measuring tape or a ruler along with the evidence, detail near the evidencing during the photography. So it is the best method to know the exact dimension of the evidence and the crime scene irrespective to the size of the photograph taken. So while taking the photograph in from the photos, it's not that much easy to make out the size of that particular object. But when we keep a ruler yesterday I told about this thing. So when we keep a scale or a ruler while taking the photograph, so you can easily get the size of that particular evidence. So this is the photo, this from this picture you can easily make out this one. So this is the evidence of a footwear mark. So we have to find out what was the dimension of this footwear, what was the size of this footwear. So for this, what we can do, we can keep a scale of scale while taking the photographs, and you can take the photograph. So after, when you want to check out this one from the scale, you can take, you will get the dimension of the particular evidence. And the last point is, it serves as a means of comparison of two evidences. So certain evidences like signatures, handwriting samples, then fingerprints, footwear impressions, footprints, cartridge cases, these can be easily examined through their enlarged photographs. So when we get a cartridge case or a bullet from the crime scene, so this is not that easy to examine. So when we take a photograph of this one, and if we zoom the picture, then we can easily analyze the particular evidence. So this is also an significance of the photography in forensic science. So once again, I will tell what are the significance of photography in forensic science. It is the best method of the recording and preservation of the scene of crime. And the second point is the method of representation of the crime scene and the evidence in the court of law. And the third point is, a busy investigating officer may overlook certain evidences that can be ascertained later on careful examination of the photograph. And next point is, it will give unbiased conclusion. And then recording of the invisible evidences or missed evidences, and it will tells about the position and location of the crime scene and the evidence on the crime scene. Then the reference photography is useful for the dimension of the evidences, and it serves as the mean of comparison of two evidences. So these are the significance of forensic photography. Like so many other uses are also there. So in a whole, you can tell these are the significance of forensic photography. So I hope you understood about this significance of photography in forensic science. In the next session, we'll discuss about the other topics regarding this forensic photography. So thank you.